What's up, guys? Ryan and I here. Just got back from Lake Messalonskee, I think is how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. From the KBF Trail 1 and Trail 2 events up there. We went up, spent the week, got up there on Monday for the Saturday-Sunday tournament. Did decent pre-fishing, found a lot of fish on beds, and really just went around with my graph and marked better fish. Any fish over 17 inches, I marked. If it was closer to 18, I would mark it different so I knew, or 18 or bigger, I would mark it different just so I knew that was a better fish. And come tournament day, that's really what I did. I really just bounced around from spot to spot that I had, and I just went to those bigger fish, and I just kept trying to upgrade, looking for new fish too. The fish were still coming up, I think. There was post-spawn fish that people were catching offshore. There was pre-spawn fish that you could probably catch, and there was spawning fish. So I think this tournament really played to you could play it to your strengths, and my strengths are bed fishing and especially smallmouth. I think smallmouth post-spawn are just really tough. For me, I know guys catch them all the time, but for me it's a little bit tougher, so I stuck to what I knew and I went bed fishing for the whole week. And like I said, I just went around, marked those beds, marked the bigger fish, and tournament day came, and there was a lot of pressure out there. A lot of guys were where you wanted to be. A lot of guys were fishing beds that you knew were there that had better fish on them. So you kind of had to just bounce around and play it how the best you could. So that's what I did. I just kept going around and fished beds that I had marked, beds that some of them I found on tournament day, some of them I knew were there. In the video, you'll see me a couple times look at my graph and really just start scanning around, just because I was trying to find the closest bed that I didn't already catch that fish on that I could go to next. Because of course you cannot use the same fish twice for any tournament. So if it's a 2-day event, you can't use that same fish either day, and if it's a 1-day event, you can't catch the same fish twice and submit it twice. So I would go around and try to find different fish or new fish that I knew were there. So and I did pretty well. Day 1 I finished 8th, and day 2 I'm actually going to make a separate video for day 2. We did a lot of the same things, but it would just be a really long video if I just made one video for both days. The GoPro did work for day 2 though, so there will be a day 2 video as well. But day 1 I ended up finishing in 8th place. I ended up with 90 1/4 inches, I believe. And I was tied with somebody else, but they had the bigger fish. So they took home 7th, I took home 8th, and it ended up being a really good event for me. I did better than I thought. I thought that if you could break that 90-inch mark, you would be a little bit higher than where I ended up. But if you told me I was going to break that 90-inch mark on Friday, I would have been thrilled. So great event, super happy, and yeah, it all worked out. So a couple things. You'll see a lot of the baits that I use, or not a lot, but the baits that I used were the same. A lot of the stuff that I used was the same. I wasn't out there switching stuff up. I wasn't out there trying new things. I had kind of like a 1-2 punch, and if that didn't work, I had a third. And we'll talk more about that in the day 2 video. But on day 1, I really stuck with these. Rage Menace, all white, so you could see it. The smallies could see it better. They would come up, they would chase these out of the bed. They would get them as soon as they got in the bed. They were all fired up. I don't know. I think day 1, I used these mostly, and I didn't need that 2 and 3. That first bait that I would throw in there was this, and they would bite it, and I'd catch them. That's the smaller one. I was throwing it on a 3/0 flipping hook. Whatever flipping hook you're comfortable with. I'm still trying to find something that I like. I was using the Owner, I think it's the Owner Jungle flipping hook this week, but I've bounced around from a couple different hooks, but that's what I was using in a 3/0 and I think it was a 3/8 ounce weight. Just to get in there, give you enough weight to kind of flip around and pitch into those beds and be accurate with your casts. I think that's important. And you'll see in there too, I caught a few fish on, I think it was this one. This little, I think it's a dark sleeper is what it's called. That is a 1/2 ounce. They were also liking that if they were a little bit more finicky, get that in there. And I don't know if it was just because it's a swim bait style, or they thought it was a bluegill, or whatever it was. But they seemed to eat that fairly well on that first day. If I couldn't get bit on the baby rage menace. So those are kind of my 1-2s. Every fish I caught in this video will be caught on either one of those baits. There was nothing different. Like I said, it was just bed fishing. Some of the fish were tough to catch. I think they got caught. A lot of those fish you could tell had been hooked more than once. And I really think that's why it was important to go out and mark those bigger fish, because there's a lot of guys that would catch, two or three good fish and then have a couple smaller ones. And catching 5 big ones, you really had to bounce around the lake, and a lot of them were hard to see. And pre-fishing, if you could see them, the conditions were a little bit different. So if you knew they were there, of course, they would be a little bit easier to catch. Six o'clock, day 1, Messalonskee. Let's go. Messalonskee day 1. in the face, baby.
Let's go.
Third call, 17-17.
lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
That was at 157. Awesome event, like I said. Huge thank you to Old Town. Huge thank you to Black Hall Outfitters. I definitely couldn't have done this without them. And most importantly for this tournament, like I've been saying, I had to run all around the lake, all over the place, from bedfish to bedfish to bedfish. I fished the whole northern half of Lake Messalonskee and really just kept the motor on, cruising, looking, trying to find fish. If I saw one, I would turn around, loop back, fish that bed, hopefully catch that fish. And a lot of that is due to my 100 amp hour Enduro Power lithium battery. This is the first event that I killed that battery. I've fished that battery all year so far, and I've fished far. I've gone far. I fished a lot, but keeping that on 10 for 8 hours is it's a lot for any battery. I would absolutely put this up against any other battery, and I guarantee I would have killed any of them. So taking that and running around all day, I killed it on my way to the ramp. I was like maybe 5 minutes away. I had an extra battery. I just threw that in, got back to the ramp. It wasn't an issue. But it is the first event that I killed it at, and I really think that I would have killed any battery probably sooner than what I killed this. So huge shout out to Enduro Power Lithium batteries. Phenomenal battery. Definitely played a huge part in this. But yeah, guys, so thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. If you, this is kind of how I'm doing these, where I talk at the beginning, talk a little bit in the middle, and then I'll close it out with something like this. But if you guys like that format, let me know. If you guys hate that format, let me know. If you want me talking on the water more, absolutely could do that. Just on the water, I'm more focused on fishing. Of course, I'm there to win tournaments. I'm there to fish tournaments. That's what I want to do. And I have no problem showing you guys what I'm using afterwards, how I got it done, or how I did not get it done and what went wrong. So please, guys, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep pushing these out, and we'll keep going with it. So thanks, guys.